Okay, so I want to make this video because it's a problem I came across recently. So first I'll show you what the problem is, and I'll just talk about it. So a good way of checking any defects and stuff like that on your any dull spots or rollovers or whatever on your edge is just get a piece of paper and just and then just run the whole edge across, and if you see any like spots that seems like, you know, out of place or whatever, I mean that where it grabs on or whatever, then it'll show you that on that little area you have like a blemish or an imperfection in your edge. So I'm just gonna do this a few times, and I'm just gonna like pull it out just like I would basically. I'm not gonna pull it out actually all the way because I don't want to get myself with the pointy end of this thing. So this isn't a new thing. I mean, it's new to me, but there is other videos on this, but I thought I'd just put my own voice into it basically. I mean, my own voice in the mix, and just like talk about my experience, and then I'll after I'm done showing you, I'll just talk about why. Not why. Tell you why this happened, and then just my thoughts on it. So that should be enough. What it affects basically is this side, this edge right here. So we'll see. Okay. There we go. All right, so the whole point is basically this was what I wanted to talk about is there's a lot of people who are currently like buying cold steel, and they might not know this, like I didn't know this, so I thought I'd just make a quick video on this, but it's going to be a little bit longer if you want to hear my take on it. But the gist of it is I would not use this sheath at all. I mean, like, for any reason. I tried carrying, so I was carrying my knife in this sheath. I used it, like I said, for like 3 days, and it just doled it out. And it is sharp. I mean, it is sharp enough to you know to do your normal stuff, but I don't like the idea of like putting a lot of time into an edge and getting it like right where I want it, and then all of a sudden having the sheath itself, which is supposed to protect the edge, from people from the edge, and then also protect the edge from other stuff, messing it up. So if you're gonna use, like, if you buy a fixed blade and it comes with a Secure-X sheath, just make a Kydex sheath for it, make like a leather sheath for it. I would not use a Kydex, a Secure-X sheath at all. Even like, let's say even if you're buying cold steel to as just like just a, not an investment, but just as a collector. Like, let's say you just want to collect cold steel knives, and like right now it's like a big thing right now to buy cold steel knives because just of the change of ownership. I would still not use a Secure-X sheath at all. Like, I mean, I wouldn't even like put this, all right, well, let me just explain. A Kydex sheath can scratch your blade, but the reason that a Kydex sheath scratches your blade is because it gets stuff in there. So if you use your knife with your sheath all the time, you'll eventually get like sand or dirt or whatever inside the sheath, and that will actually embed into the plastic itself. And when that happens, it will scratch your blade. I mean, one day or another, it'll eventually scratch your blade if you use a Kydex sheath. But a Secure-X sheath can be like squeaky clean, and because this is the reason too. This is kind of going into the reason why it scratches and messes up your edge. Because it has it's plastic, but it's reinforced with glass. So the glass itself is the one that dulls out the blade, and then it also scratches the blade. So you can have it squeaky clean, and the Secure X sheath will scratch your blade in and of itself. So even if you're a collector, or if you're a person who uses their knives, I would not use the Secure X sheath at all. Now, so that was basically the reason for this video, but just in case you want to hear my take on it, this is in my opinion, it isn't like cold steel cheaping out on materials and all that stuff. It's cold steel it's just a failure in design, and so I'll explain it. When you buy like a drill or basically any tool that has plastic, like a plastic outer shell, it's better for that tool to be reinforced with glass. And the reason for it is because it gives it rigidity, it gives it wear resistance. So it's much better and all the higher brands have glass reinforcement for the shells of the tools they sell. So, and it's even more costly. Like for a manufacturer to make anything that has, so if a manufacturer has a machine making sheaths out of just straight plastic, it actually costs them more to make sheaths with plastic that's reinforced with glass, just because of the dyes or the molding that's used to actually make the shells of like, let's say, the sheath. Those dyes would wear out faster because of the glass reinforcement, because of those glass fibers, than it would if it was just plastic like Kydex. So money-wise, it's not really like cold steel's cheaping out. It's just like I don't understand. Maybe they wanted the rigidity. Maybe they wanted maybe if they made this design out of plastic, it wouldn't have the rigidity to actually hold the knife in, I guess, with their type of design. And I'll compare it to just basically a Kydex design too in a second. So that's the first fail, in my opinion. The second fail is how this is made, the design of it too. So get this actually. So this is made out of two shells. So I mean, two pieces, and there's a lot of Kydex that's made that way too. So you have two pieces, you press them together, and it forms around the knife. But the way this is made, they're already they're not formed against the knife. They're formed against a die or a form of some kind. And then when they put them together, that's what it seems like. I mean, this is just me looking at it, and that's what it seems like to me. And then when they put it together, it's like a rectangle that they're putting together like this. But it's more like, and this would be where the edge is down here. So it's more like, I don't know if you can see that well. Something like this, where the edge part is straight. What would this be, like a trapezoid or something? Trapezoid maybe? Whatever. So the problem with that is, when you put the knife in and you pull it out, and I'll show you, there's a ton of movement. There's movement in Kydex sheaths too, but this bottom piece being flat, along with movement too, basically has your edge moving around. It lets it basically touch that bottom, and then runs your edge across. So, if I can show it to you. Well, I'll just show you the inside. Oh, and this is actually, I should have said that. So this is CPM 3V. It's not like a crazy good edge retaining steel, but it is very good at retaining an edge. It isn't like Maximate or anything like that, but it is better than 1095, way better than 1095, better than Oz 10A. So it's I think a little bit less than S35 yen. It is a little bit less than S35 yen. So it is a good edge retaining steel. So let me just, it's CPM 3V, and this is the Warcraft Tanto, the 7.5 inch bladed one. All right, so what is happening here, as you can see, this is the edge side, so it's facing up the edge side, and this is where the top of the blade goes. You see that? So it's a rectangle. See if you can see down there. And that's just, I don't know, that to me, yeah, it's easier to make. To make something like that, that's two rectangles, two pieces to put together to make a rectangle. And but it does let your blade wiggle around, move around, and especially the edge. It lets your edge, let me see if I can show it to you. It lets your edge move this way, back and forth, while you're pulling it out, and basically touch the glass reinforced by plastic. On a Kydex sheath, you have a triangle basically on a Kydex sheath, and this is a taco style one, but basically even a sandwich one, it's because you're using the blade itself as the form, and then you put it, you're putting it together. Well, you're putting it together with the blade in the middle. It creates, here's the spine of the blade. This is how the hole in the inside would look like on the Kydex, and it would go out like this a little bit. It would have a little bit of spacing here for where the edge, because it wouldn't really touch completely where the edge is, but it basically it is a triangle. So even though there is play when you have a Kydex sheath, even though there is some play, it's not gonna, while you're pulling the blade out, it's not gonna touch the Kydex itself. It can touch it while you're putting it back in, just on the outside lip of the sheath, but it's not gonna do it while you're pulling out the blade like this one. So to me, that is the main reasons, the main failures of why this sheath sucks so much. All right, so hope this helped. All right, bye.